Hello, this is Mrs. Schuver, and today we're going to work on adding different sign numbers using our number line. Yesterday we worked on how to model using vectors, but we used same sign numbers. So this should be page 23 in your packet, and unfortunately the numbers did not print well. I put them in the bottom right corner, so I'll give you a few minutes to find this page. You may pause this video and restart once you've found this page. So yesterday we talked about that sometimes we're given expressions, which means there's no equal sign, yet we still have enough information to find the answer, which we usually write below. And sometimes we're given number sentences, which do have an equal sign. In this case, we write the number next to it. You're going to notice that these integers have different signs. This one's negative and this one's positive. And we're going to model them with vectors. Now, yesterday we learned that when we start this, we always start at 0. And I'm going to count on my number line, and I see -3. So I must go to the left because it's negative. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And I'm just counting on the number line. But we want to model that with what's called a vector. And this should be an endpoint, not an arrow. And a vector shows me not only the direction, but it also shows me the length that I've traveled. So this is -3. Now this is where it gets a little bit different than yesterday. We're now going to model +8. But I have to go back the other way. So I'm going to choose to first of all, I'm going to count from -3, and I'm going to count 8 counts. The hard part is not going back to 0, is starting where you stopped. So I'm going to go to -3 and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, why did I go to the right? I went to the right because it's a positive number. So when I do the vector, I'm going to, so I don't go on top of my other vector, I'm going to go directly above, and I'm going to make my vector the length of 8. Stop the arrow there, and I'm going to write that this is +8. So now I have a model stating the length of this line is 8. The length of the other vector is -3, and we can see what direction they go in. But most importantly, the whole reason we're doing this is we're trying to find the answer. And we stopped at 5. So -3 plus 8 is 5. So now let's go to the next. We're going to start, I see +2, but we always start at 0. So I'm going to put my pen at 0, and I'm going to go right 2 because it's positive. And now I'm going to make my little vector. My arrow stops at 2. I'm going to write above it that this is a representation of +2, a length of 2 on the number line. Then I can see that my next number is -5. So now I want to model -5 on the number line. Again, tricky part, I have to start where I stopped. I stopped at 2. Since it's negative, I'm going to go to the left. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to draw this vector, I want to above it make sure I'm showing that I started at 2. I'm going to move backward. My arrow ends at -3. And to make this vector clear, I'm going to write that this is a representation of -5. Once again, though, the whole purpose of this is where we landed. We landed at -3. Since it's an equation or number sentence, I'm going to write it after the equal sign. So let's pause for a minute. Let's kind of look at what happened. When I add different sign numbers, my answer doesn't exactly look like I've added. When I add different sign numbers on this example, again, it doesn't exactly look like I've added. In fact, if I look at the number values, if I just think of my positive numbers, 3 plus 8, that would, if it was positive, it would increase. But I can see that it didn't increase, it decreased. In fact, it kind of looks like I took 8 minus 3 to get that 5. Let's look at this one, see if we see that same pattern. Normally, if I add two positive numbers, my value gets bigger. So if it was 2 and positive 5, I'd have 7. But I can see I don't have 7. The value decreased. In fact, it kind of looks like I took 5 minus 2 to get 3. However, it's negative. I wonder why this one's negative. So we'll discuss that in class. So now let's move on to our next two examples. We're going to start with this expression, 9 plus negative 4. So I always start my model at 0. So I'm going to count to positive 9 on the number line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Always this first movement makes sense to my brain because I know where I'm heading. I'm heading to 9. So now I need my vector to demonstrate that or to model that. And so this vector is a model of positive 9. Next number, I am going to model negative 4. But I have to do that starting where I left off. So I left off right here at 9. So I'm going to start at 9, and I have to go left because it's negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to draw my vector and stop here. This is a model. The vector models negative 4. But most importantly, I stopped at 5. So the answer to 9 plus negative 4 is 5. Oh, once again, it kind of looks like I took 9 minus 4 and got 5. So when I added two different sign numbers, it's almost like I'm subtracting. So now let's complete our final example. I see that we want to model negative 7 plus positive 3. So we're going to start at 0, and we're going to count to the left because it's negative 7. So my vector is going to start at 0. It's going to move to the left, and this is a model of negative 7. And then I have to start where I left off, which was negative 7. And I'm going to count positive 3. Positive goes to the right. 1, 2, 3. So my new vector is going to start at negative 7 and stop at negative 4. But this vector is a model of positive 3. So my answer is negative 4. And since this is an equation, our number sentence, I'm going to write negative 4 after the equal sign. Oh, so this is kind of neat. Starting to see a pattern. Each one of our examples looks like we subtracted, but I've noticed that some of the examples have positive answers and some of the examples have negative answers. So let's explore that a little bit more. So in the first example, it looks like I took 8 minus 3 to get positive 5. And here it looks like I took 5 minus 2, but I got a negative 3. However, this wasn't positive 5, it was negative 5. So when I said it like it was a positive. So I think this is absolute value. So if I took the absolute value of 5 and subtracted 2, I would get the number 3, but it looks like I kept that sign of that number. Here I took 8, the absolute value of 8 would be 8, taking away the absolute value of 3, which would be 5, but the answer was positive. So let's look at our models. I can see that the longest vector is 8, and it's positive, and I had a positive answer. My longest vector here was negative, and I had a negative answer. Let's see if that happens for the rest. My longest vector here was 9. It was positive. My answer was positive. My longest vector here was -7, and my answer was negative. So I think this all ties together. In fact, it does. The number with the highest absolute value in all of these examples, the longest vector, whatever sign it is, that's the sign of my answer. This has the highest absolute value, 8, and it's positive. My answer is positive. -5 has the highest absolute value, and it's a negative number, and my answer is negative. 9 has the highest absolute value, and it's positive, and my answer is positive. -7 has the highest absolute value, but the initial number is negative, and my answer is negative. So I think we are subtracting, but we're keeping the sign of the number that has the highest absolute value. So let's write that down. So what do you notice? Even though we added the numbers, and it said that we're adding, we can see that we're adding, we really found the difference, which means subtraction in math. So let's write that. So when we added different sign numbers, we really subtracted. So the difference means subtraction. So when we add blank sign numbers, we just worked with different sign numbers. We start with the number that has the highest absolute value. And, this is important, subtract the number with the lowest absolute value. The answer will have the sign of the number with the highest absolute value. So let's write that, and then let's see if we do that pencil and paper, if it works. So to conclude the lesson, let's see if what we just wrote here works. If I use this last example, I see -7 plus 3. So -7 would have the highest absolute value. So I'm going to write down the absolute value of -7. And then our directions say, down here it mentioned that we're supposed to subtract the absolute value of the lowest number. So the lowest number is 3. So I'm going to take 3 from 7, and I'm going to get 4. However, my answer, we can see, was -4, which is where this rule comes in. The answer will have the sign, excuse me, of the number with the highest absolute value. So -7 had the highest absolute value, so I'm going to keep that sign. So, the answer is -4 when we follow these rules we just wrote. So we'll work on that later. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and it made sense to you. Please try modeling now. Would you go back and finish modeling the other examples on this paper? Have a great rest of your day.